Motorsport Game Studio 397 and Commander Hood have just saved Rfactor 2 because it now has a rather cracking ranked multiplayer mode built right into the game. In this video I'm going to tell you how to access the multiplayer, why it matters for Rfactor 2, why this is so good for sim racing, and if you watch this video whilst drinking tea and also being a subscriber, you are of course incredibly sexy. Let everyone know how sexy you are in the comments. Now, of course, a lot of you will say, but Rfactor 2, Game of Muscle, you stupid bold git, already has multiplayer in it and a ranked system. And I would say, yes, it did, but nobody was playing the ranked system, apart from Michi Hoyer. The system itself was a bit awkward to access. The content in that system was a pain to work out what to buy, and it wasn't really very clear in how it tracked your safety rating, your ranking, and it's just a general pain in the arse, which is probably the correct words used to describe Rfactor 2 over the last few years. Pain in the arse 2, because the first one was also a pain in the arse. Now, some of you will also go and say, but Game of Muscle, you stupid bold git that drinks too much tea and looks like a generic character model from FIFA football games from the 90s. What about low fuel motorsport? That supported Rfactor 2. Yes, it does, but to access the content and get into it was a little bit of a convoluted pain in the arse mess because Rfactor 2 wasn't designed with LFM in mind, with you having to go to another website, then go back into the game, then work out what content to buy, then set things up, then have things generally be broken. It really, though LFM I think did a really good job of it, and LFM are incredible, they've literally saved Assetto Corsa Competizione, so this is no dig on LFM, and the LFM website's really well designed. It's just a bit of a convoluted mess, and given that Rfactor 2 isn't the most popular sim in the first place, apart from its hardcore dedicated fans, and of course the most active user of Rfactor 2, Michi Hoyer, keeping it alive, it really just doesn't work foisting an external service onto that and then trying to integrate it so well. But generally speaking, LFM was not as integrated with Rfactor 2, which unfortunately, due to the pain in the arse aspect of Rfactor 2, magnified that pain in the arse component, unless you're already a hardcore Rfactor 2 fan, which as we've established is literally only Michi Hoyer. And now I've said Michi Hoyer 3 times, well technically 4, he's going to appear in your bathroom and bludgeon you to death with a direct drive wheel, forcing you to play Rfactor 2 for the rest of your life, unless you go and subscribe to him. So go and subscribe to Michi Hoyer now on YouTube and Twitch. So what's changed, Game of Muscle, man whose face looks like an emaciated prune? Well, I'll tell you, now the multiplayer is in the game directly. When you load into the game, the first thing you see with the multiplayer is this new multiplayer system. This is effectively the multiplayer. You can still access hosted stuff and set your own stuff up if you want to, but the ranked multiplayer is prominent. It's what I've been saying for years. You've got it there, you click on it, and then you've got hourly races for the rookies, for you to get a safety rating, for you to get your actual ranking. Then you have other hourly races for higher ranking, with faster cars, longer tracks, longer races, but you know, the higher rated races. And then you also have occasional special events which are even less frequent, which you can preemptively sign up to, but you need to meet the rating requirements for. But it's kind of an advertisement for those bigger races, and you can prepare for them and you know what's going on. All in the game, no messing around. Even you just sign up with an account and you can just verify your email address. Done. It works immediately. Absolutely fantastic, and what I've been asking for and what I think all racing games should have in order for you to be able to do multiplayer properly in them as a normal pleb that doesn't want to organise loads of stuff. Basically, it's very much the same as what you have in Gran Turismo 7 GT Sport, the new Forza Motorsport, and the sort of a bit like iRacing, though a little bit more simplified, and also a bit like LFM, but all built into the game. Now, there are some crucial things that they've really done correctly with this. The first one being the rookie races that happen every hour on the hour. They are with cars that are included in the game and tracks that are included in the game at this point in time. So that magnifies the amount of people that can jump into that, get racing, try it out and see what they think about it without having to really think about getting other content. I think if you sign up now, you actually get the BMW for free as an incentivication, don't even know that's a word, to incentivize you to get onto the beta and try it out. And then the really nice thing is that rather than diluting it with 3 different things at the same hour, they have these cars. Each hour it changes from the car and track. So 1 hour is the Tatus F4 car on one track. Then the next hour it's the BMW M2 Cup at Lime Rock Park. And then the next hour it's a Radical at a track that I don't know. But it basically means you're not going to get bored. You can jump into the multiplayer. You've got some different cars there. You've got some different tracks. And every hour you're going to have a really nice, fresh multiplayer race. Also, the timing of it means that you can do a bit of practice before the race starts. You do the quali before the actual race starts. It then positions you for the race. And then you go and do the race. It's really fun. It's amazing, this. And you know what? If you make a game fun, people tend to want to play it. And if you make it easy to access, people tend to then want to spend time on it. For example, I jumped on this to make a review and check it out, expecting it to be another crappy Rfactor 2 release. And instead of being on it for an hour and a half, I was on it for like 5 hours last night. I couldn't stop playing. It was really good fun. Now, another crucial thing with this, and what they've done really well, is that when you finish the race, your safety rating and your ranking is displayed really nicely with a little animation showing this is your current rank, this is what it's moved up to, or moved down to in my case most of the time. This is what you did in the race. This is how many clean laps you had. This is who you drove into. Ran out of space on my screen, obviously. But weirdly, at the end of one race, I had a message saying I ran into a traffic cone. I don't even remember hitting a cone, but that was hilarious. It's like the end of GoldenEye, or, you know, like playing Unreal Tournament. Fun gaming information and fun stuff there. And then you can also see where your expected position was for the quali, for the race, based off the ELO ranking. And you can also see on the scoreboard how other people moved up and down, which is just really enjoyable from a gameplay perspective. And when you put, this is what I would consider quite basic gameplay stuff, combined with the depth and the nuance that you get with racing in a simulator, which are the best games for actual dynamics and stuff that you're doing as an activity. Combining fun gaming metrics and ranking with that is the holy grail of gaming as far as I'm concerned. And it's just really fun and really well executed, especially this implementation in Rfactor 2. Now, also, I think the really nice thing is that, as I say, you can use the basic content for the rookie stuff at the moment. But once you've had so much fun doing this rookie stuff, if they have a higher rated race and it's using other content, you're going to buy that other content. And it doesn't matter if it costs £10-15 to buy that content, because you'll be like, well, I already had like 20 hours of enjoyment with this other stuff, so I know I'm going to get value from the car that I buy. So this is absolutely fantastic for motorsport games and Studio 397 to actually make it worthwhile for the customer to buy the content. And you know what that content's racing. You know it's going to be racing for the next week. So you know you're going to use that content. Whereas before, you didn't have a bloody clue what was going on. You're like, oh, shall I buy that? I don't know if anyone's racing it. I don't know if LFM's going to keep racing that. I don't know if they'll race it again. You know, this is all like so obvious stuff to me. And it's so nice that this is actually finally come together in Rfactor 2. And also nice that Forza Motorsport have basically done this sort of thing as well. It should be the basic thing for all racing games as far as I'm concerned. So if you yourself want to access this, then what you need to do right at this moment is you go to Rfactor 2, install it. Obviously, you need to buy Rfactor 2, and you can actually get Rfactor 2 really cheap off Steam, fully legit. You can get it for like £2 from other sites on the internet, depending on how legit you want to go. So you can get Rfactor 2 borderline free. Then when you've installed it, and watch out, it is like a 50 gig download, so you're going to be there for a quarter of a century downloading it, because there's a lot of content and stuff in Rfactor 2. But once you've installed it, you then are going to need to go to the properties. They need to go to betas, and at the making of this video, you need to click the release candidate, the latest public release candidate, and that is what has the beta in it. Then soon, I'm pretty sure, after a bit of testing, they will then roll this out into the full release build. So this is still beta at the moment, but this actually feels less beta than most stuff that's out there. And in terms of how active this was, this is like absolutely, the servers were totally full. The practice servers still managed to get into races, but there were like multiple splits going on. I think it was like 100 and something people registered at midnight for these rookie races. People were absolutely loving it. And then in terms of the quality of the racing, It was fantastic. It's so much better to drive than iRacing, which obviously is the sort of top ranked online system at the moment. You can have like little car contacts in this without the cars going mental. The damage isn't over the top. And crucially, the tyres in Rfactor 2 are much closer to real world tyres in that you can overdrive a little bit and counter steer and catch the vehicle. It's not the end of the world. You know, for some reason, people think iRacing tyres are even borderline acceptable. They're just not. Rfactor 2, AMS1, Assetto, Corsa are just on another level for physics. And then when it comes to multiplayer racing, the combination of being able to catch the car a little bit and then also have a little bit of contact means you can just have much better, more dynamic, more exciting, less frustrating online racing. So this is absolutely superb for Rfactor 2, and as a player that actually likes, I'm a gamer as much as I'm a sim racer. I do like race cars, I like racing, but I'm very much sort of on the gamer side as well. This is amazing, and this, I think, is one of the best executions or implementations of this type of system at this point in time in a racing simulator that didn't previously have the online ranking. So massive credit to the guys at Motorsport Games, Commander Hood. Massive credit to them for how this is being done and implemented, and really going to be interesting to see how this evolves. Of course, it's going to be interesting to see how active this stays, and if people stay on it into the long term. That's always the test for these sorts of things, or if they start getting bored of it, which is what happened with LFM, with Rfactor 2 at least, but maybe not with ACC. So that's going to be interesting to see. We'll keep following it. We'll keep you updated on that. But I'm really enjoying this at this point in time, and I highly recommend you jump into it yourselves and give it a go for yourselves. You can't go wrong. So thanks for watching this video, and hopefully you try this out, and hopefully you've now finished your cup of tea, or at least made a few more. But until the next one, happy tea drinking, take care, and goodbye, guys.